is Willy D today?
It's always a question. It seems like these last few weeks of summer, Caroline, I'm coming
And then
at you
throughout
from.
hockey season, where in the
Yeah,
world is Willy
yeah,
Donick?
that's right. Yeah, I always keep you off guard on that. You never know. So today I'm in the great state of New York. I'm in the capital region near Albany at my parents' house in a town called Cambridge, New York. So visiting with family up here, and we'll be full vacation here in a couple of days, but um, glad to catch up with family up here. My niece and nephew, my brother live up here as well. So uh, I'm a lot cooler than you are right now, Caroline. Not in the sense of like you're a cool person, but like I feel like at training camp, uh, I know the temperatures tend to be pretty high. I don't think it's quite as hot today, but I can guarantee you I'm a lot cooler up here.
It's not terrible today. It's really not. And that's compared to what it has been and what I know it can be. It's still about 90 degrees and everybody's melting, but it's not as bad as it has been. But very well deserved vacation for you, Willie Donick. We'll miss you the rest of the week, but enjoy time with your family. But yeah, it is hot. And Nick just reminded me that it's only going to get hotter. So I'm excited for
Oh, very nice.
Sorry.
Just to let you
excited
know.
for that. No, that's all right, Nick. That's all right. You do not have to remind me. Titans practice is wrapping up now. We'll have a full breakdown of what I saw at Titans practice today, what Willie thinks about what I saw from Titans practice today. We'll get into that once practice wraps up in about 15 minutes. Christian Fulton will join us in about 15 minutes once practice wraps up. But I want to start here before we can get into all the nitty gritty of Titans training camp, what I saw from the quarterbacks today. I want to start here because Mike Sando of The Athletic finally released his quarterback tiers. And this is something that Mike Sando does every single year. And it's not necessarily Mike Sando's tiers, it's not just his list that he comes up with. He polls 50 NFL coaches and executives, all who are anonymous, all with league insiders, all breaking down their thoughts and their votes for which tier and where each quarterback should rank amongst each other. So, of course, what I do with any sort of list, whether it's a quarterback list or a coach list or a running back list, whatever it might be, I just scroll to the Titans. I just scroll to wherever Ryan Tannehill is. So Ryan Tannehill sits in Tier 3 at number 22. So in Tier 3, starts off with Kyler Murray at 13, Derek Carr 14, Jared Goff 15, Russell Wilson 16, Tua at 17, Jimmy Garoppolo at 18, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, and then Ryan Tannehill. Mike Sando writes, and this is the evaluation and some of the quotes from the league insiders and executives that were polled. It says the Titans' talent drain on offense left Tannehill in a difficult situation last season. He did not plummet in quarterback tiers voting, but he did sink deeper within Tier 3. One exec said, would you rather play with him or against him? To be honest, he's probably someone I'd rather play against. Those 3 interceptions in that Bengals game could have been the beginning of the end for him. Another exec said Tannehill is at a pivotal point where his replacements are already on the roster, and in order for him to be the starter in Tennessee a year from now, the level of play would have been so high that meeting those expectations seems almost unfair. So, Willie, your thoughts on where Tannehill is ranked and some of the justification for Ryan Tannehill being 22 in the list of 32 quarterbacks in Mike Sando's quarterback tiers?
I look forward to this every year from Sando. I think you get some really good, unfiltered critiques of the quarterbacks here. So, Tier 3 didn't surprise me at all. I think it's a very fair evaluation. I think the troubling thing, and this is probably to be expected at this stage of Tannehill's career, is that it's not just Tier 3. It's sort of the bottom of Tier 3 now, or towards the bottom. In other words, he only got one vote in Tier 2 this year, and he got more Tier 4 votes, 5, and Tier 5 votes, 2, than he got Tier 2 votes. The overwhelming number of people had him solidly in Tier 3. So I'm not quite as concerned of whether he's above Daniel Jones or above Justin Fields or anything like that. It's that he is now considered straight up a Tier 3, whereas a couple of years ago, he was right on the edge of Tier 2. He was getting a lot of Tier 2 votes, and I thought you could really make the argument he was a legit Tier 2 guy. When you just go by the definition, I do like Sando's definition of the tiers. I think that is important. So there are some rankings that I sort of cast off as, not really relevant. I put this in one of the more relevant rankings that you have. And I think it illustrates that for the Titans to be successful and for Tannehill to be successful, he needs good support around him, maybe more so than he ever has.
And I would agree with you because it's not just one person's opinion about the quarterbacks. It's not just one writer at ESPN or The Athletic or CBS Sports or whatever it might be. This is people actually in the league that watch the film, that break it down, that do this for a living, and it's 50 different league employees, executives, whoever it might be. It's 50 different people, and all of their opinions kind of squished together. So Tannehill in Tier 3, and the definition of Tier 3 is a quarterback who is a legitimate starter but needs a heavier running game and or defensive component to win. A lower volume dropback passing offense suits him best, which in that definition, Willie, I think that fits Tannehill well. I don't have any problem with Tannehill kind of being in that tier. But you look at the past couple of years and how it's shifted. And I like how in this article on The Athletic and Mike Sando's quarterback tiers, you can see over the years the vote breakdown. So in 2021, it was almost half and half of Tier 2, Tier 3 votes. Tannehill had 27 Tier 2 votes to 23 Tier 2 votes in 2021. The next season in 2022 kind of shifted, 45 Tier 3 votes, only 5 Tier 2 votes. So I think that was the Bengals game effect. Everybody saw Ryan Tannehill throw 3 interceptions against the Bengals, and I think everyone's perception shifted of Tannehill. In 2023, in this season, he had 2 Tier 5 votes. I don't even see a Tier 5 here. He had 5 Tier 4 votes. In Tier 4, the definition of it is a Tier 4 quarterback could be an unproven player with not enough information for voters to classify, or a veteran who ideally would not start all 17 games. Over a 2 to 3 season period, the perception of Ryan Tannehill has shifted dramatically. Is it fair?
And he's aged in a couple years. I think that has something to do with it. I think he was, if you look before he became a Titan, he was well down in that Tier 3 phase because Sando's been doing this for a while. So he elevated up to fringe Tier 2. He played the best years of his career with the Titans. He really put a charge into the franchise. And I'll always credit Ryan Tannehill for that. Like someday when we go back and look at what he's done for the franchise, 2019, 2020, 2021, those are huge years of success compared to the entire arc of the Titans, and he has a lot to do with that. So now where is he? I think what the league is saying is, look, he can still get it done, but you got to have the offensive line fixed. You got to hope that Derrick Henry can still carry the team to a degree, and you have to hope that the roles in the passing game get defined, and that you have a top 10 defense. You put all that together, Ryan Tannehill, I think, could be part of a winning team. I think that's a fair assessment. You get down into Tier 4 and Tier 5, you're basically saying the quarterback is pulling the rest of the team down, that he's not up to par. A Tier 3 is still a guy that you can win with if you have the rest of the pieces.
Tier 3 is fine. I have no problem with classifying Ryan Tannehill as one of those quarterbacks that's a starting quarterback in this league, but just needs a little bit more help. We've never called Tannehill one of those guys that can carry the team 17 games a year, like we've seen Patrick Mahomes be able to do or Joe Burrow be able to do. I mean, those guys are just elite. We've never called Tannehill that. We've never claimed that Tannehill was ever that kind of quarterback. Tier 3 is fine. But I just think that the justification and some of the quotes that were pulled from this article, from some of the execs that were voting on these tiers, it's not giving Ryan Tannehill a fair crack at it. Because voting him as a Tier 4 or a Tier 5 quarterback, even, that's saying that he's not a starting quarterback. It's ridiculous. You're saying he doesn't deserve to be a starting quarterback in this league. Ryan Tannehill is one of the top 32 quarterbacks in this league. He is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I'm surprised he got Tier 4, to be honest. I think at this stage, I think he's just a rock-solid Tier 3. I don't think anybody's arguing for Tier 2 anymore, but I think you're being a little harsh if you're going into Tier 4, to be honest with you. And I think what you're reading in the evaluation, you're seeing probably the worst of Tannehill. I still think if you give the guy a shot, he can still be effective. But he is relying on the talent around him. the other big thing that I didn't see specifically in there, only a little bit of a reference, is how are his wheels? Because one of his big weapons, I think big tools, is the ability to run effectively. And after the ankle surgery, what is that going to look like this year? I think that's an unknown.
And I do want to get into that. Speaking of the wheels, saw a little something of that today. But like I said, I have no problem with the tier 3 ranking. But where he's ranked amongst those quarterbacks, I disagree with. Because I'll ask you, Willie. Right now, this season, game 1, 2023, Titans at Saints, who would you rather have under center for the Titans? Kyler Murray or Ryan Tannehill?
Oh. You said Kyler or Derek Carr? Did you say Saints?
I said Kyler. I'm just thinking like week 1, Tennessee Titans against the Saints. You know, who would you rather have lining up for the Titans, Kyler or Tannehill?
Oh. Well, okay, so you're taking aside Kyler's injury, lack of availability, et cetera. I thought you were comparing Carr to Tannehill. It's a great question. Because they're both in the tier 3, but you're looking at a couple guys that are upper tier 3 according to the votes. See, and it's such a completely different thing. Kyler Murray is really a guy that is being asked to be a tier 1 or a tier 2. The team is built around him being the dynamic difference maker, and he hasn't been. I think Ryan Tannehill has always been, since he's been with the Titans, a team on a team that is built to succeed around the quarterback position, not because of the quarterback, right? It hasn't really been like that since they had Steve McNair when you get down to it. Well, you know, I'm trying to think with rare exceptions, when they've had good teams the last 10, 15 years, it's with solid quarterback play, but they haven't relied on the quarterback to go win games for them. Kyler Murray, to me, to be in tier 3, that's one of the reasons why the Cardinals are where they are, right? Because he hasn't lived up to the expectation level.
Right. And I have always felt like with Kyler,
I would rather have Tannehill. I'd rather have Tannehill than Kyler Murray.
And I would agree with you.
For this team this year.
I would agree with you. And if you want to talk about upside or the next 5 to 10 years, that's a totally different conversation. But just looking at where the quarterbacks are ranked in Tier 3, and again, Tier 3 is a quarterback with a legitimate starter, but just needs a little help from around the team. Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Tua, Jimmy Garoppolo, Justin Fields, all quarterbacks that are ranked above Ryan Tannehill in Mike Sando's quarterback tiers. But honestly, all quarterbacks that I would choose Tannehill over. All quarterbacks that if you gave me Tannehill or those quarterbacks, I would take Tannehill. And maybe that's a Titans Nashville radio host homer in me, but I feel like there's a perception of Ryan Tannehill that isn't necessarily fair. That Kyler Murray or maybe Justin Fields or Jimmy Garoppolo gets a benefit of the doubt that Ryan Tannehill just doesn't get around the league.
You know, to me, the guys that are really interesting to circle in this group of quarterbacks that are slightly ahead of Tannehill, Geno Smith is an interesting one because he's sort of in his own category. Just was sort of on the shelf collecting dust for however many years, 6, 7, 8 years, comes back and has a great year, and all of a sudden he's ahead of Tannehill. I'm not sure. I want to see Geno Smith do it again. But the guys that are interesting to me are Garoppolo, Carr, and I think there was one more. Like, who were the guys? Like, people were, when there was a little bit of musical chairs going, and we were discussing theories of, hey, if the Aaron Rodgers dominoes fall, and you start getting calls about Tannehill, who would you end up with if you wanted to change from Tannehill? And I think the Titans pretty clearly came back to the conclusion of we're better off hanging on to Tannehill, keeping the continuity. He's just as good, as not better, than Geno Smith or Garoppolo or Carr, especially when we know what we have in him. So I think how he does compared to those quarterbacks is going to be really interesting to watch.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Again, Ryan Tannehill ranked 22nd of 30 quarterbacks in Mike Sando's quarterback tiers. I don't think it's fair. I don't think anyone gives Ryan Tannehill the benefit of the doubt. We'll get your thoughts on that, and we'll continue to break down the rest of Mike Sando's quarterback tiers, but we will hear from Mike Vrabel at the podium coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We are live and local.
I think Vanderbilt is steady, disciplined.
It's been so long since Tennessee's gotten out of the first weekend.
And your source for Nashville sports. I don't mind going to another team.
You want to know what the coaching staff's going to look like?
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Tennessee, when you bet on Zen Sports, the new sportsbook in town, you get the best reward possible. Cold, hard cash. You bet with your own money, so why accept anything less from your rewards program? With Zen Sports, you earn cash on your bets, cash on your referrals bets, and a welcome bonus in, you guessed it, cash. So stop settling for Vegas rewards when we're in Tennessee. Cash in your old sportsbook for Zen Sports. Your wallet will thank you later. Zen Sports. Betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up and in Tennessee to bet.
Men, this is Evan Bass for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. If you're suffering with erectile dysfunction or other sexual health issues, you need to know that there is no one-size-fits-all treatment because everyone's made differently. That's why our urologists and medical providers offer a broader array of treatment options and can even combine or adjust treatments for greater effectiveness. ED can result from aging, low testosterone, prostate issues, underlying medical conditions, and more. And understanding why you have ED is the first step in treating the condition. That's why you need to know your numbers and understand what other factors might be contributing, and then work with an expert to treat it. And that's where we shine. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we have protocols that are effective in nearly 90% of cases, which means we'll likely find the right treatment for you and you can get your sex life back. So call us. Your first appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. We have 2 offices to serve you, Midtown and Franklin.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra, results vary.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
We try to stay cool by being on social media.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game and on Instagram at 1025 The Game Nashville.
Hey!
Oh, yeah, and like us on Facebook, too. This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase on 1025 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3, The Game, and the Game Nashville app, live out here at Titans training camp. The pads were on today, and boy, oh boy, it is a beautiful day. Hey, Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase is brought to you by Zen Sports. Start earning cash rewards on your bets today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and in Tennessee to bet. We will hear from Mike Vrabel at the podium in just a few minutes. Christian Fulton will join us as well. And really, one thing that I wanted to ask Christian Fulton about, and one reason why I was so excited to get him on today, was because Mike Vrabel, as we've discussed, Mike Vrabel will give credit when it's due, and he'll also be tough on his players when it's due as well. And I think we've seen that with Christian Fulton. We heard Mike Vrabel give him some praise last week and then called him, hey, he's lackadaisical at times, needs to be a little bit more consistent. And then over the weekend, when Mike Vrabel took the podium on Saturday, he had a ton of praise for Christian Fulton, some of the work he's been putting in the offseason. So that's what I want to talk to him about. It's what's he been doing in the offseason? How have you worked at getting a little bit bigger? How have you been working on moving the body a little bit better? How have you been working to try and stay healthy? So I'm excited to hear from him about that.
Yeah, his off-season program I know was the subject of some discussion. Of what he's trying to do in a contract year to avoid what has slowed him down. He's a guy that when he's been on the field and been right, healthy, he's very, very good. Right? I think he's missed some games. We know he's also played some games that he has not been 100%. Right? And especially when you're battling a hamstring, like what does that do? He's on the field, but maybe not doing the things that he really is capable of doing. But we know when he feels good, he's a really solid corner, and he's trying to earn that next contract. He's an interesting guy because, to me, he's the guy that the Titans, to me, would love to keep if he has a great year, but he would then get a very big pay raise, right? Corners get paid in this league. And so these are the decisions on the horizon when you have Jeffrey Simmons' contract kicking in next year, the big number, and you have Tannehill up. What do you do with him? What do you do with Henry? What do you do with Byard? A lot of unanswerable questions at this time. But Fulton, we know he's at the stage where he can get a really nice contract with a good year.
And just sat down with us, Titans cornerback Christian Fulton. Christian, pads were on today. How'd it feel?
Felt great to put them back on. It's been a long time coming, since our last game. Just felt good, to, hit the pads hitting, with everybody, and energy was up. So I felt good out there, and everybody felt good out there, really.
And I heard Vrabel on Saturday, he was at the podium. He talked about how you look bigger, you're moving better. And that's something that when we were standing on the sidelines, myself and some media members, Christian looks big. What have you been doing in the offseason to get to this point?
Really, just different training, that I had this year. I took a different approach, working with my guy, David Alexander. Shout out to him. He's put me on a great plan, focusing on what I need to focus on. I'm healthy, I came off a shoulder surgery last offseason, so I was working on getting my weight back up, upper body-wise. And this offseason, I just had the, ability to just focus on my body and what needed to be worked on. So I was able, put the work in on all areas.
So you said you decided to take a different approach this offseason. Titans cornerback Christian Fulton is with us. Why did you make that decision to do something different this offseason?
When I got hurt last year with my groin and I was out for a couple weeks, I just had to take some time out, thank to myself with my guy, one of my friends, Ken. We took the time out and, we just sat down and figured out what the difference we need to do, and we took that approach on, finding a trainer, that works on those things and wanted to be, take that approach and make the focus on the small details, whether that was, training, eating better, those things, all those play a part. And, and my guy trainer, he gave me a lot of game on what I should do, to maintain that throughout the season.
Christian Fulton is with us. You mentioned the groin injury. That's kind of been something over the past couple of years. The hamstring, groin, you've struggled to stay on the field. How has that kind of fueled you going into this season to stay healthy, going into a really pivotal year for your contract here in Tennessee?
It's fueled me a lot because I know what I can do when I'm on the field. I play really well to help the team. I do my job. And it was just frustrating going through those things because I want to be out there and I couldn't be out there. So, I just had to take, accountability on myself on what I could do better, in the off season. And, just talking with the trainers, and seeing what they can help me with, with them implementing some things, that could help me out a lot. Going into practice, going into games, just the smallest things, what I could be better at. So it's, accountability on all parts, that we took that approach on.
We're talking to Christian Fulton, cornerback for the Tennessee Titans. And, Christian, one of the things we were just talking about, it seems like when you are healthy and you feel good out there, you can play at a really, really high level. How many games would you say? They always say that nobody's 100% at a certain point of the season. But what percentage of the games do you feel like you've been at full strength where you can be at your best? And how many games have you had to sort of fight through some things?
Really, all my first 3 seasons, really, I was fighting through something. I feel like I don't know if nobody knows this, but this is my first off season where I've able to put together a real plan, for my body where I'm not coming off the season trying to heal something, coming off a surgery or something. This is the first off season where I've been able to, be healthy, put a plan together, and stick to that plan throughout the whole off season. Because, like, even in my rookie year, I'm coming off the a long season with the championship. We were straight combine, then we had COVID. All those things just, factoring in. So, this is the first time, where I feel like I'll be out there 100%, with both shoulders feeling fine, my hamstrings, groins is feeling fine. So, I'm excited to see what I can do.
That is really exciting. One of the things I heard Mike Vrabel I don't know if you ever listened to the Bussin' with the Boys, but sometimes you get a real different viewpoint of Coach Vrabel when he's talking to Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. I think it's a really interesting thing to hear those guys talk about what makes Mike Vrabel tick, how he tries to motivate his players with pointing out praise, but also pointing out constructive criticism in his own way. What is that like for you? What's your relationship like with him?
We have a really good relationship. You know, he's a former player, so he understands what we go through. He understands, you know, the things that we go through off the field, on the field, and I respect that because that's something that you need a lot in this league. You know, we go at it every day. You know, physically, mentally. And he understands that. You know, he gives us, you know, the green light to come in his office, talk to him. You know, we talk to him when we see him on the hallways. You know, in the meeting rooms, he comes in the meeting rooms and talks with us. You know, he always talking ball. You know, and how we could be better as players. And you know, he takes accountability on his end. You know, and whatever we go through as a team. You know, so I really respect that from him. You know, and we have a real good relationship. You know, and we still continue to build on that.
As you know, corners that are really first-rate corners in this league are hard to find. You've got a great opportunity here. How do you try to put that in perspective? Because you're trying to play for a winning team, play for a great defense, but also you've got your future, and it's pretty bright if you can put together a really good season.
Yep. You know, just my mindset right now is just, you know, taking it one day at a time, you know, working on, you know, my body, making sure I can get through camp. I'm getting some great work out here, you know, from my receivers, getting some good looks. So I feel like, you know, if I just take it day by day, you know, and I get better every day in camp, make it through camp healthy, and once the season comes, that'll be my same approach. You know, as far as the season, I'll take it day by day, one game at a time, and, you know, just try to stack weeks. I know if I'm out there, my confidence will grow highly, and like I said, I know I can be a #1 corner in this league.
What have you noticed from Traylon going up against him one-on-one in practice? What have you noticed from him year 1 to year 2?
His confidence, you know, his confidence has grown. You know, he's got a better understanding of the game. I feel like it's slowed down for him. You know, he knows his angles, you know, and his different routes that he runs, you know, and I feel like he's built that connection with Tannehill, you know, to where they talk and they know, you know, what they want to work on, you know, going against us. And, you know, just giving them a great look. You know, we want to get them great looks because we know they'll see some good corners, you know, going up against this year. And like I said, just that confidence, obviously his body, you know, he's taking care of his body, you know, throughout the offseason to where he looks bigger, faster, and stronger. So that's what I see from him, you know, heading into this camp.
What's your goal this season?
Be the #1 corner in the league.
Pretty good goal.
Yep.
Pretty good goal.
Yep. Simple.
All right, now, Christian, I got to sneak this in. Caroline, I cannot believe she's waited this long to ask an LSU question because she is an LSU grad.
I'm trying to remain as partial as I possibly can, but go Tigers.
Right, she's trying to be very professional. She's trying to be professional. But, Christian, I was down. I actually went my son was playing in a baseball tournament down there last week, and I got a chance to get on the campus. Hadn't been there in a long, long time. But it's so awesome. You can see, you know, why everybody would be excited to go there. But, of course, you grew up in Louisiana. Your brother played at LSU as well. So what was that like growing up, watching him play? Did you always want to go there?
I actually didn't, honestly. When I was growing up, I wasn't very much an LSU fan. I knew they were good, you know, but I wasn't actually an LSU fan. I kind of was like a fan of another team in the SEC. But once I, you know, had my first visit as a freshman going into my sophomore year, I fell in love. I knew I was going to LSU, you know, just with the history that they have for DBs. They're a winning school. They put guys in the NFL. I knew that was one of my goals, you know, in high school. So it was just a perfect plan for me, you know, being from Louisiana, New Orleans. And, you know, I met Coach Raymond, and he showed me what it would take, you know, to be a guy in this position that I'm in today.
You made the right decision.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I got one last one. The 2019 team. We were just at LSU at SEC Media Days. We had an interesting debate. Some of the greatest teams that we've seen. I'm a little older, so I can go back a little farther than some of the people that we were discussing this with.
Yeah.
But the 2019 team that you were on has got to be on the list somewhere of the best teams of the last 20, 30 years in college football.
Definitely. I'm going with us #1. You know, I like us. I don't see nobody stopping that offense. You know, they have some good teams, like that Miami team. You know, they have some guys, some great players. You know, we still building our way. You know, making our legacy in the NFL. That team, but as far, I mean, I like us. You know, we were pretty confident. You know, whoever we were going against that week, and like I said, we still making a name for ourselves right now in the league today. So we should probably have that conversation probably in about 10 years where we'll see us in Miami.
Titans cornerback Christian Fulton joining us. Christian, appreciate your time. Good luck with the rest of camp.
Appreciate y'all having me.
All right, we will take it to Mike Vrabel at the podium coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
It's a long summer. But don't worry. Hockey will be back soon. You'll hear every slap shot, save, hit, and of course,
Knocked down in front, rebound, and the score!
on your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Is it October yet?
Genesis Diamonds is opening up the vault with our largest GIA diamond event ever. Starting Saturday for a limited time, all our GIA diamond engagement rings will be marked down 20%.
That's 20% below Genesis' already unbeatable price. This means you can buy like a dealer buys with deep discounts on over $10 million in stunning diamond rings.
These remarkable savings are on every GIA diamond engagement ring, from a half carat to 20 carats, all shapes too. Rounds, ovals, radiant cuts, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts.
Remember, all Genesis diamonds are hand-picked, come straight from the diamond cutters, and are graded by the GIA, the most prestigious gem lab in the world.
At Genesis, our everyday prices are unbeatable, but for this event, we're taking value to a whole new level with an additional 20% savings.
Don't miss this chance to save like never before on that exquisite diamond ring. Buy like a dealer buys.
Starting Saturday for a limited time, exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. Limit 1 per customer, please. Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
The Nashville Sheriff wants to pay you $55,700 a year. Now hiring correctional officers. Positions are available immediately. You must be 21 and over with a high school diploma or a GED. Come, join our family and earn $55,700 after paid training and probation. Apply now at sheriff.nashville.gov/apply or call 615-862-8170. Stop searching. Apply now. The Nashville Sheriff.
Can we make 10,000 thread count sheets?
For Lens Linens, staying in the comfort zone is never an option.
Maximum thread count we could possibly thread.
An industrial seamstress would make their sweet dreams come true.
I want it to feel like you're on a snowflake, on cotton candy, on marshmallows, on a cloud.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey y'all, it's Courtney with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Warmer months have you working overtime? Be sure to visit Parman Tractor and Equipment for all your New Holland tractor and bush hog needs. Swing by our store at 3570 Dickerson Pike in North Nashville or give our sales team a call. We're now offering 0% financing for 72 months on select New Holland tractors. Get the brands you trust from a local dealer like Parman, always ensuring totally outrageous customer service. Visit ParmanTractor.com for the best deals on equipment, New Holland tractor, bush hog, and more.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt football head coach Clark Lee. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, and the Game Nashville app. Live out here at Titans training camp. We will hear from Mike Vrabel in just a bit whenever he takes the podium. Hey, the Game Summer Ticket Tour is headed to Streetcar Taps and Garden, located at 4916 Charlotte Pike, this Thursday afternoon from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come eat, drink, hang, and leave with a pair of free Sounds, Preds, Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, or concert tickets. Also, you can get signed up for the grand prize Titans tickets, Preds tickets in the 501 Club, and a 2-night stay at Opryland Hotel with access to sound waves. Black Tie Moving delivers the Game Summer Ticket Tour. For more details, visit thegamenashville.com/tour. Just heard from Titans cornerback Christian Fulton. I think the theme of the year for Christian Fulton is you're going into the last year of your deal. Can you stay healthy? Some of your takeaways, Willy, what you thought from Christian Fulton.
I thought it was insightful. He talked about not only the last offseason or two, but being drafted in the middle of, the pandemic, And he said that this last offseason was the first real offseason he's had to have a full program to do something like this. I'm really curious how that's going to translate when it's time to really play. But he did sort of echo what we've observed, right? It's not easy to play in this league when you're not feeling 100%. So he's dealt with a lot of things. You know, I wasn't even thinking about the shoulders, right? I was thinking about the groin, the hamstring, the hips, all of the lower body stuff that we focus on a lot. But he had shoulder surgery last year too. So he's been dealing with a lot of stuff. But you can tell he's confident. He feels really good out there, probably as good as he's felt at this time of the season. And I think he's a big swing player. But I came out of there feeling kind of like I did when we talked to Traylon Burks on Friday. These are two guys that I think feel really good about their off seasons. And I think they're ready they're poised to have big years this year if they can stay on the field.
That's kind of what I took away from it is, yes, Christian Fulton and Traylon Burks are coming into two very different scenarios at the points in their careers. Traylon Burks coming into year 2 after up and down year 1. Christian Fulton coming into the final year of his contract. But both of them have something to prove. Traylon Burks needs to prove that he is a number 1 receiver in the NFL. Christian Fulton needs to prove that he is worthy of that second contract. And I know it's July. I know it's early. I know that anyone can have good camaraderie and a whole lot of confidence when you're in training camp and pads haven't come on against, the New Orleans Saints in week 1. But it does feel like they both have a certain sense of confidence going into this year. Christian Fulton feeling healthy, trying something different. He looks bigger. Mike Vrabel was at the podium on Saturday, talked about how much more confident and bigger and just sure of himself that he feels. And he even said, Christian Fulton even said the same thing. Traylon Burks coming into year 2, feeling more confident as Derrick Henry walks by with a swarm of Titans fans getting autographs from Derrick Henry.
Yeah, confidence is such an important thing, especially for a corner. I think you've got to have that. And you can sense that he's got it. It's in there in him. And like we were saying, I think Mike Vrabel knows that if he can get 17 games with him on the field, I think that's going to translate part of an ingredient of a really good defense. I think if it all comes together on this defense, I see a high ceiling that this defense is capable of. And that's the formula, I think, for having a really good year.
The defense is the key between a division win, making the playoffs, making a run in the playoffs. I think it relies on the defense. Azeez Al-Shaair, speaking of defense, is up at the podium, so we will take it to Azeez Al-Shaair now.
It's the same way. The only difference is now you get the guy in front of you can thud him up. So I don't think it really changes the mentality or anything like that, kind of just the finish. So.
As you guys get out here and work more together, how do you see the personalities meshing and emerging, generating energy in those things?
You just see guys being themselves. There's different type of leaders on this team, and I think they all lead in their own way. From Derek to KB, to Ryan, myself, Jeff. Everybody kind of has their own style of how they lead their group and their unit, and it all comes together. And people picking each other up, feeding off of each other's energy. So, like I said, I just think it's really good back and forth competition, which is right now a weekend. That's all you really can ask for, and that's what you want to see. Obviously, mistakes are going to be made, things like that. You got stuff to build off of, but it's been really good so far.
You mentioned the leadership aspect. How much of a leadership role have you kind of embraced and taken? It's early, but over the last couple days of campus, specifically with that group, your position group?
I've embraced it really since the first day I got here. I knew that was a part of, just me as a person that I felt like I could bring to my room and help to this defense and this team. So it's not. I think it's something that you can't really you can't fake it. You got to be yourself and be authentic, and that's what I try to do. And I think it kind of shows itself. Leading by example, helping the guys out, coaching the guys up, even the guys who are across from us. Going against the running backs, whether it's one-on-ones, whatever, and letting them know, hey, I played it this way because I saw you do this, or vice versa. So it's just allowing us all to sharpen our tools, because when the season starts, I'm not trying to beat him. I'm trying to beat somebody else. So I want him to be as good as he can be, and I know they want me to be as good as I can be, so we can go into the season and get some wins.
How do you embrace being able to be the play caller on the defense and work the team out?
I embrace it. I think it's even in San Francisco. me and Fred had the green dot, but in practice, we both had to use it. And I was, the backup middle linebacker, so I would have to call the stuff as well. And when Fred went down during the season, in the last 4 years that I've been there, I was always doing it. So it was something that wasn't new to me at all. I think, just from, I guess, you guys' perspective, you guys don't really, understand or know that. In a real game, yeah, it's only one person. But in practice, whoever's the backup, like even right now, Jack Gibbons and Monty Rice, they have the mics as well. So, you have to make the call. So it's something that, I've already been comfortable with doing. But obviously, when you got the green dot and you're expecting to have it, going into the season, it's a good feeling. And, I embrace that role.
How good are those big guys lined up in front of you? And can the front seven of this defense set the tone for this entire team, you think?
Yeah, I think, not just the front seven, but even, the back seven, I think the whole defensive unit. But you talk about that D-line, like I told people all the time, I've been real blessed. I've been with two really good defensive lines, with San Francisco and now obviously being here. So it really feels the same for me. I don't know anything different, all the stuff that I'm seeing out there right now is exactly what I was seeing for the last 4 years. So I'm just grateful to be a part of that, which is a part of why I felt like it would be good for me to come here, seeing that from the D-line. So.
Some days, that first day of pads, coaches would run the Oklahoma drill to start. They put the ball at the 1 yard line. There wasn't any of that. There weren't skirmishes out here. How would you describe the tone and tenor of day one of pads with the Titans?
I think it's just, like I said a little bit earlier, it's a National Football League. I feel like Oklahoma drills, first day, it's like high school. I just see it as some Little League stuff. At the end of the day, we're in the NFL. It's as high as it gets. This is the best of the best. Your technique, everything that you do, with or without pads, for me, has always been the same. I'm taking the same approach, the same technique. Only difference is the finish. Now, as opposed to 2 days ago, I was finishing just punching or moving out the way, letting them run. Same intensity. We don't really change how we do things. It's just the finish at the end is what you change. So obviously you're able to be a little bit more physical, but overall I think it's just the same mentality for a lot of guys.
Expand on Jack as a running partner and how you view kind of the two of you together, how that puzzle fits.
I think right now, it's just different guys rotating in and out, trying different things. And Jack, I think, is coming along really well, really smart player, and really just, trying to feed off of each other, help each other out when we're on the field. And I think it's just been good so far, and even other guys rotating in. So we kind of like I said, it's the first week of training camp, so you really don't have – watch out, man. So you really don't have, anything set in stone, but it's been good so far. Same. I think it's all the same. Monty is, I tell him all the time, he reminds me of that old school linebacker. He loved to hit. He loves to make plays in the run game. And, I think he's just overall a solid player, and he's just trying to build off of that and, continue to grow. So I think that's the biggest thing for everybody. We're all doing the same thing, trying to get better every day.
Signing autographs over there and taking pictures with the fans. How much have you kind of embraced Nashville? Have you feel like you finally settled in?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the fun part is it is hot. It's training camp, and to be out here, this is my job. I love what I do, but it's my job. And all those kids, I told the guys when we were breaking it down, I remember being a child. If I could come to an NFL practice and see NFL players as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, it would have made my whole world. So for me, those type of things I think are always important because you never know who you're motivating or who you're inspiring by just signing an autograph or a shirt that they probably won't fit a year from now. So I think it's just special, and I embrace the whole city of Nashville. It's closer to home for me, being from Tampa, and I like that southern feel. I don't know if I can get with the cowboy boots and the hats and stuff, but everything else has been really good.
The first NFL player you met when you were a kid?
I never met one.
Really?
Yeah, I never knew nobody that went to the NFL. I never knew nobody that even went to college. So for me, I had to kind of see something that wasn't there, that didn't exist. So it was tough for me growing up. So I think that's why it motivates me a little bit more to, do things like that because I know what I didn't get. And I would never want somebody to be here and me be here and, take 5 minutes, extra minutes out of my day to just sign an autograph. And that could change somebody's whole life. So.
Where did you grow up?
Tampa, Florida.
Thanks,
Waffles
DJ.
don't wear the hats or boots.
All right, there you go. That was Titans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair. Mike Vrabel will take the podium. Aaron Brewer will as well. So if Mike Vrabel's up, we'll get to that coming up next. We'll get to some of our thoughts on the defense coming up next, and, of course, your thoughts as well. 615-737-1025. Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase. 1025, 1063 The Game.
Whether it's college football,
players might end up not going to Alabama or Georgia,
or the NFL,
I think that this team wins the AFC South.
Trevor knows. Join ESPN's Trevor Maddich every Tuesday at 4:30 on Stillman and Company as he gives his opinions on the latest from the gridiron.
I'm going to the team where I can get a ring.
Trevor Maddich brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, where experience matters, on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
All right, let's give you the word on Loan Pronto. Remember, they are helping a lot of people with their finances with the quick, easy, all-digital express line of credit, and it just got even faster. You now can get that check to attack the financial goals you have in as little as 5 days. 50,000, 100,000, 150,000, whatever the number is based on your equity in your home, you can get it quick. You don't want to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need, pay off the credit cards, start the home improvement project, whatever bills you need to pay, you have it. And you can keep that primary mortgage. That's important. So stop paying insane interest rates on other bills and get the hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto for the info. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Barlines in the Omni Nashville Hotel stays true to the spirit of Music City, the perfect spot for sports and arena concert fans year-round. Savor Barline's originals, the Barline Barbecue Burger or Midtown Mushroom Swiss Burger. Excite your taste buds with the Sobro Grinder with smoked turkey, the Boss Hog with whiskey braised pork butt, and the Angry Chicken, pickle brine fried chicken breast with honey sriracha. Attending an event downtown? Barlines in the Omni Nashville Hotel, open daily at 11 a.m. is a great way to kick off your afternoon or evening.
Hey home buyers, TJ Anderson here. Are you looking for a luxury home on over an acre, 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and close to 7,000 square feet? 6551 Brownlee Drive in Nashville's Westmead neighborhood offers that and a 4th car garage, all by an award-winning builder. Text the number 1 to 615-420-2377 for pricing and info. Want your home on the radio? Google TJ Anderson Homes and see why we are referred by clients so often. TJ Anderson Homes at Benchmark Realty, office number 615-432-2919.
Having some fun in the midday.
Okay, that's really fun.
This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase.
It's a good source of energy because it's live.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From speed, I thought there, we stayed up. We tried to take care of each other, and that's what we'll have to do. Come back tomorrow and do it again.
Kind of managing the ups and downs of this kind of work you started, and how do you think you did today?
I thought there were some good balls. I thought there were some good decisions down in the red zone. I thought he delivered the ball with some accuracy, tried to push it down the field, and work the concepts that we had going in today just in the red zone. So, take it day by day. There's going to be some good days. There's going to be some bad days, and learn from them and keep progressing. But I thought, offensively, at least from the quarterback position, we got some pretty good work today. They were able to extend some plays or, take off and run in the red zone, which, we have to be great at defensively as these quarterbacks that we play against are athletic. And, the reward for taking off in a red zone is a touchdown. So, we have to be great on our rush lanes and be able to affect the quarterback, but, not give up lanes where Malik took off today and Ryan took off once too.
Tight spaces of the red zone, maybe favorable for his quick release, Wills?
I hope that the accuracy and the decision making, being on time, and then certainly the release anytime that you can, get rid of the football and make it accurate, that's always going to help.
Brought up Chase